Okay, so, a lot of us who eat grain-free, a lot of us have fibromyalgia, a lot of us have autoimmune issues, and a number of health reasons why we choose to eat that way. For me, I have a lot of health issues. One of them is spinal stenosis. Now, I know that this show is not about health problems, but I do know that a lot of you out there that are eating grain-free do have fibromyalgia. You might have limited mobility. So I thought this might be a really great time to share with you that I am planning on going to Walt Disney World fairly soon. And I am going to be using a rollator instead of a scooter, I hope. And I just wanted to reach out to all of my friends here and talk about it because everyone has told me I'm doing the wrong thing. And I don't think I am. I'll tell you why. First of all, let me explain why I'm going to roll later in Disney. It's because I have what the doctors have said is severe spinal stenosis. If you're not familiar with what that is, it means that the discs between your spine kind of go away, and it makes it very difficult to walk, very difficult to stand upright, and very painful. Now, I have had a spinal injection, which has made my mobility better. So I want to be sure and disclose that. I'm going to be having another one in August. My grandson's fifth birthday is in October, and we have been planning to take him to Disney for his fifth birthday for the last 5 years. It is so important to me that I go. Disney is one of my favorite places in the world. I'm actually just a great big Disney nerd, and I'm proud of it. So it's important to me to be there. Now, the reason why people rent scooters is because there's a lot of walking in Disney. It's not unusual for someone with normal mobility to put in between 5 and 10 miles per day when they visit Disney. Let me back this up just a little bit and tell you, first of all, I purchased a rollator that I adore. It's a Nitro drive. I'll post a photo of it, and I will also link to it in the show notes so you can see exactly what it looks like, because the photo that I have does not have any logos on it. I have been working with that rollator for months, trying to get to where I can walk a reasonable amount of time without having to take a rest. The good news is right now I can do about a mile to a mile and a half before I have to stop and just rest for a little while and get up again. The walking distance of Walt Disney World's Magic Kingdom is a little over, I think, 1.5 miles. That's if you're not backtracking and running from one place to the next. So I do feel that if I take it slow and I'm very cautious, I can use my rollator in Disney. If not, I can always rent a scooter while I'm there. I really don't want to. First of all, I'll run someone over. I don't think I really will, but I'm kind of afraid that I won't have the control that I would like. Kids stop in the middle of the street sometimes just to tie their shoelace, and they don't turn around to look in back of them. And I don't want to be that person that's knocking him in the tush. But more than that, when you have spinal stenosis, even though you might not feel like moving or doing a lot of exercise, you need to move. It's walking is important. I go to physical therapy regularly. I've been working hard at this to get it to where I can do a rollator in Disney. And I'm recording this because the research that I showed, a lot of people are talking about disability in the Disney parks. A lot of people are talking about renting scooters and what it's like. And there are some people who talk about, should you use a rollator? No, probably not. Probably better to rent a scooter. So for all of you out there that have the hope that you're going to be able to do something major like Walt Disney World and use a scooter and use a rollator instead of renting a scooter, that's why I'm here. Now I'm going to be posting more videos as we get closer to my trip. It's not for many weeks yet. I don't know yet if I'm going to qualify for a DAS pass. For those of you who don't know, that's what Walt Disney calls its disability pass. They've made a lot of changes to it recently, changes that I feel for the most part are positive. If you have a wheelchair or a scooter or even a rollator and you can wait in line, you no longer need to have a DAS pass because Disney lets you take those into the line now. My big problem is sun exposure. I have Sjogren's disease. I'm constantly being tested for lupus. And if I'm out in the sun for a prolonged period of time, like waiting in line and just sitting there, that can cause a flare and that can cause problems with me. You might ask yourself why I can go to Disney at all if I have problem with the sun. I live in Las Cruces, New Mexico, which if you're not familiar with where that is in the United States, it's very, very far south. And I get extreme sun all year long. I have learned over the years that I have to be careful and I have to really watch for shady areas. If I am in the direct sun for a while, I have sunblock all over, clothes that are suitable for people that have UV sensitivity. And I've taught myself what to do and where to go and how to hopefully avoid a flare. Now, my plan in Disney, if I can't get a DAS pass, I will let you know if I do, is to have an umbrella with me. And as I'm sitting in my rollator, if I'm outside in a line, to have my umbrella up. The only thing is that worries me because, that's if I'm sitting, that's going to be about the same level as a child, and I don't want somebody running into the umbrella and poking their eyes out. But I do think that that would be an option for me if I have to if I can't get the DAS pass and I have to stand in line outside in the sun. I'm hoping anyway. If you have Sjogren's or lupus or any type of autoimmune disease that deals with having limited sun exposure and you've done Disney and you could share your tips with me, I'd really appreciate it. So when I find out if I qualified for that DAS pass, I will be sure and put a post here to talk to you about it. In the meantime, I do very much respect what Disney is doing with making the DAS passes a little bit harder to get. I'm assuming I might not be able to get one. If you're one person who's had a hard time getting a disability pass, please comment in the notes below. I'd love to hear what you went through and if it's been hard for you. Other than that, please keep me in your most positive thoughts. I'm going to keep rollating and practicing and keeping my fingers crossed that I'll be able to do a rollator when I get to Disney rather than having to rent a scooter. Here's a photo of my rollator. Like I said, I have a Nitro drive. The way that I decided buy this rollator at physical therapy, they had a number of rollators there. And they had me, actually, I should probably tell you, I was bound and determined not to even use a rollator. But it was getting to where it was getting so hard to walk, I didn't have a lot of choice. So they let me try a bunch of different rollators, and this Nitro drive was the one that felt best to me. If you're looking to get a rollator, I would recommend going to a place that sells them in person and taking out the different rollators they have and walking with them for a while to see which feels most comfortable to you. I really do love my little red rollator. I like to think of it as my little red sports car, and I've been buying stickers to decorate it. I'll have to show you a picture of that in a future video. So I've been very happy with this rollator, and it really does feel good to use it. I feel like I have my life back, like I've been liberated, and I've gotten over the stigma of using one. I'll keep you updated, and I really appreciate you being there to listen to me talk about this because I feel like if I share it with you, that you, my friends, will give me motivation to keep going and keep trying and make this work. I will talk to you again soon. Take care. Thank you.